What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. If you've seen the thumbnail, then you know already what's gonna come up. I'm gonna share my China story, and this is also an introduction of a new part of my channel that I want to talk more about China. I'm already visiting China a lot, so I thought it would be cool to share more about the country, the cities I'm gonna visit, because I'm gonna go in approximately 2 weeks from now to China. So I will visit Shanghai, the city where I've lived. I will tell more about it later. And yeah, I'm gonna visit other Chinese cities. I would say I go maybe once, at least once a year to China. Even last year was like 3 times a year. So I think it's cool to have like this separate part of the channel that I just share. So a playlist of China stories, China content. I know it's not very aligned with real estate, but it's just a subject I really like to talk about. I'm passionate about China. So the first time I visited China was in 2015. It was with a school trip, believe it or not. We went with school to China. And yeah, like they said like, oh, well, we organized a school trip, and then we went like with the students to China. Of course, we had to pay for the school trip. It was not free, to make that clear. And yeah, we went to Chengdu, Xi'an, and Beijing. And we arrived in Chengdu, and then we went to Xi'an, biked on the wall around the city. We visited the Great Wall in Beijing. So yeah, we've seen a lot of historical places in China, and yeah, it was my first time going to Asia. Yeah, I was very young, it was first time, but it was an organized tour. We went with school, so everything was arranged. But I remember I was very impressed by how big everything was in this country. Yeah, I come from Amsterdam, Netherlands. We have smaller buildings, small country. Within 1 hour drive, you're out of the country. Then China, everything is massive airports, massive railway station, and then we had the fast train that was already operating. And yeah, like this big skyscrapers that were being built non-stop. So I was like, whoa, there's a lot of things going on here, and this is a massive country with a lot of economic activity. And yeah, I just didn't expect it to be like that. So yeah, that was my first impression. Yeah, then got back to Amsterdam, and yeah, it was not that I was like, whoa, I want to live in this country. I was just more impressed, and my interest, I got more interested in the culture, definitely. And I always loved Chinese food, but in the Netherlands we have like this fake Chinese food, so it was not the original Chinese food. They make it a bit more westernized, Indonesian style. So that was like the Chinese food I was always eating. Then I came to China, I was like, okay, this is real Chinese food. And yeah, some dishes I was like, whoa, what is this? And then started eating it more, got to really like it. So yeah, after that I kind of got hooked to Chinese food. But it was not like, oh, it was my dream to live in China, to have this like Chinese dream and move there. I never had this in my mind. So how did I end up living there actually? So after my study, I did some work, and then in 2016 I went backpacking through Southeast Asia, because I was like, whoa, China is super cool. I want to see more of Asia, do like an Asia backpacking trip for 6 months. So I went for 6 months to Southeast Asia. I went to Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Singapore, and Indonesia. Best trip of my life, because I was 20 years old, like freedom, I had some money, not that much, but like just backpacking, go to these local places. And yeah, it was like my first time like just doing whatever I want, going on a long trip. Was an amazing trip, met amazing people, still in touch with some people until this day from that trip. So yeah, shout out to you guys if you see this. Yeah, and that trip I met my ex-girlfriend in Cambodia, in a small town called Kratie. It's in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, interesting story. I was in Phnom Penh, I think it is, in Cambodia, and I had to wait for my Vietnamese visa to get ready. So I was like, okay, I had like a few days. I wanted to go to some nature place, and this guy from the hostel recommended me to go to Kratie. Apparently, because there are like dolphins there, it's like a nice nature spot, because there's like a river. So yeah, I went there, didn't know what to expect. checked in the hostel. It was like this kid that checked me in, 10 years old, typical in these like underdeveloped Southeast Asian countries. And then I walked upstairs, and there was another girl in the dorm. It was just the two of us, and yeah, she's now my ex-girlfriend. So we met there in the hostel, started traveling together. She's not from China, she's actually from Peru. Got together to Southeast Asia, and yeah, after that we went separate ways. I went back to Amsterdam. She was living in the United States. Then we stayed in touch through Facebook, WhatsApp that time, and yeah, she got a job over in China, in Shanghai. So we met actually up again in Paris. I had the summer off. I was like, oh, I really like this girl. I've been to China before. Let me just go there for 3 months and just see how it goes with our relationship. If it's because I really liked her, and I was young, 21. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I go to China, booked a ticket for 3 months, and we stayed in the suburbs of Shanghai, in Minhang district, in Xinzhuang, like near the Xinzhuang station. So it's like just to be clear, Shanghai is like a huge city, one of the biggest cities in the world. 25 million people live there, and this was kind of in the suburbs of Shanghai, still very developed, but no other foreigners. We were just one of the only few foreigners. I couldn't speak any word Chinese. If I would go out for dinner, there was everything in signs, so I had to look for restaurants with pictures to order something. But we had this small 1-bedroom apartment, very local area, but it was everything what we needed. And that was our start. We lived together right away, so it was also quite intense. Such a young age, 21. I just went to China for 3 months, but after 1 month I was like, wow, first of all, I liked her that a lot, and I loved living there so much. And for me it was easier to go there than for her to go to Amsterdam. She got, from her job, we got the apartment provided, so that there was like no cost of housing, so that made it also easier. And therefore I decided to move. After 1 month, 2 months, I decided, okay, I'm gonna move to China. So after the 3 months, went back to Netherlands, and packed my bags, told my parents I was moving to China. They were not happy at all. Of course, I was 21 years old. Now looking back at it, I was like very young to make that step. Just go there. Didn't know anyone, just besides my ex-girlfriend, and moved to China with not like a plan. I just did it. It was not that my parents gave me like, oh, here's like 50,000 euros, or they give me money to new life there. I got like 500 euros. Of course, I had like savings and some money. So, I just went there and made the jump. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start learning Mandarin, because that's how I can get like a student visa, because like getting a visa in China is difficult. So first started learning Mandarin, got a student visa, and English teaching was like a common side job over there. It paid pretty good for the age, especially for China standard. So I was like doing English teaching at the side, at these local schools to small kids. Never expected to be a teacher. It was not something I was like super passionate about. It was sometimes funny, like the kids were nice, but it was not like, oh, this is my dream job, I want to be an English teacher or something like that. So I was always looking for other opportunities. So in the meantime, I was already like, okay, busy with doing like trading on the side, like looking for like manufacturers. I tried different kind of products, like from ties to phone cases, to phone screens, like a lot of different products with different business partners in Netherlands. I was just hustling in China at the beginning, learning Mandarin, doing English teaching, doing some trading with different products. Later we moved to a different area. It's called Huinan, Nanhui, even further away from the place we were living, because my ex, she got a new job in that area. She got a better pay. The apartment was way bigger. We went from a 1 bedroom to I think it was like a 3 bedroom to bathroom. So definitely an upgrade, but it was like far as F. Took more than 1 hour to get to the city center. So yeah, the area was not that good, but the apartment was nice. Yeah, I kept teaching English, but started a new venture at the same time. I had this plan to offer to like luxury golf trips to Chinese to go to Europe mainly, because I did an internship at this event, international event company that helped companies to do like travel trips in Europe. So let's say you have a company trip and then you want to go to Amsterdam or you go to Malta and do like a cool experience. That company would help you organize everything from booking the hotel, doing the activities, etc., in a unique way. So we had this, I worked over there, did an internship, so I had this contact with the owner. And I was like, hey, why can we not do the same, but then target the luxury golf market, because golf in China is very luxury, high end, and then offer them golf trips to Europe and have like this complete package. So I had him as the operator, me as the salesperson. Yeah, so this was the plan. Yeah, so I had the contacts in Europe to arrange the packages. There were just a few problems. One, I sucked at golfing, so there was like a major problem, because yeah, of course, if you meet this guy from the golf club, and then the first thing is let's go for a round of golf. So in a short time try to be better at golf, but to practice a sport, it takes time. Another thing is like my Chinese was not good enough at that moment, so it was not that I could speak fluent business Chinese and sell these guys like these packages in Chinese. So this was a disadvantage. And of course I was very young, but they didn't know that. For them it's hard to see the foreigner's age. And also I was not Chinese, so there's always, I would say, like, yeah, it's easy to buy something from a Chinese person, but it's way harder to sell something to a Chinese. So it would have been better, looking back, to collaborate with a local Chinese partner to do the sales together, and of course be better in golf to offer these trips. So yeah, I went to like a lot of golf clubs. I've seen all the golf clubs in Shanghai. I've been even to other places to talk to these people. Surprisingly enough, I did got on a table with the presidents or the owners or directors of these big golf clubs. So apparently my initial sales follow-up, like cold outreach, worked, but the closing was a bit difficult. That's with business, like you have to keep on going, and unfortunately this one didn't work out. Meanwhile, I kept exploring China. I visited many different places. I went to Huangshan, I went to Nanjing, I went to Beijing a couple times. I went to Yunnan province, I went to Guilin, I went to Sanya. I went to many different places in China. So more than, like, even a lot of Chinese say like, oh, you've been to more Chinese cities than I've been. So it's a big list. It's a bit too much to tell now in the video. Yeah, so I kept testing other trading ideas. Eventually I made money exporting electric scooters to Europe. Did a lot of different trading things and English teaching. So that's how I was making money. Finally moved to the city center near Jiangsu Lu and Zhongshan Gongyuan, Zhongshan Park. This is like a nice area in the center. Small place with a little garden. We paid like, I don't know, I think it was like €1,000 a month for rent. It's perfect. We're super happy in the city center. Started building my life there. Had a lot of friends. But of course I was not super satisfied in the situation that I was, because I felt like I wanted to build like a nice big company. I wanted to be very successful. I was like very money driven. But yeah, I had like a solid circle of friends. My Chinese was getting better. I just felt like, okay, I could stay in China for long term. I did see myself living there for 5+ years and really become, like a China expert, living there. There's not such a thing as a China expert, but someone with a lot of knowledge about China and can speak fluent the language and live there for a couple of years. Looking back, it was one of the best periods in my life. Really enjoyed it. So much fun. met a lot of cool people. Yeah, so yeah, China also comes with challenges, especially as a foreigner. It's definitely the visa things are difficult. Yeah, you don't have the same rights as a Chinese person. It's very hard to get a passport or permanent residency. Yeah, so I started a tourist visa, then switched to student visa, and eventually got a work visa by starting my own company there. Really enjoyed living in China, but I had this bigger dream. I wanted to have a big company, be a millionaire very fast, and yeah, just have this big company and be super ultra successful. This was my dream, and so I was not very satisfied. And but what I saw in China, I saw that WeChat, Alipay, these apps were way more ahead than that time the platforms we had in Europe. So I was like, hey, why not make this app and copy it like Chinese style, but then put it in Europe. So make our own app. And so I started this. I had this idea. So okay, let's make a similar app and then export it to Europe. So I needed a co-founder, someone that had more experience in tech because I had zero experience in that field. And I found a co-founder from Serbia. He was living in Beijing. I flew to Beijing and we talked, and we were like, that he had the same vision. He was like, oh, he already had this plan in his mind as well. So we were like very fast, so let's do it. So then we started the company. We call it OneChat. I think the name is still great. Put all my savings, got some investment from family, and and my business partner put his money, so we had more than 100K. We opened up a small office in Serbia, and I was traveling back and forth between China and Europe. So this was a very big bet. So I put a lot of money for that time. I put like at least 20,000 euros. That was, for me, was a lot of money. And yeah, like I put all my effort in this project. I was going all in. I was quitting everything else what I was doing just to go in this project. But of course, because we were selling to the European market and we had an office in Serbia, it meant I had to go more back and forth between China. And eventually, the goal was then to move back to Europe because the app would be operating there. So we had the first markets in our mind was, okay, Serbia, because we had our office there and it's a less developed market, will be easier to introduce something high tech than Western Europe, and we use Netherlands as kind of like a place to raise money. But then COVID happened. I was in the Netherlands, so this was 2021. So last time I was in China was the end of it was like around December 2022, so the end. And then I went to Netherlands to do this business, just going back and forth. So I was expecting to go back to China, of course. Then COVID happened. Before that, I just broke up with my ex-girlfriend. COVID happened. The pandemic started in China. China closed its borders very quick. Nobody know what was going on in Wuhan at the time. So for me, it was not like, okay, I'm gonna go back to China right now. Well, all this COVID stuff was happening there. You saw this images of these hospitals and these people falling on the street and the complete lockdowns. So I was not like, okay, I'm gonna go back to China now to face this COVID because nobody knew at that time what it was, and I already was kind of having my thing going on in Europe. So I decided to stay in Europe with pain in my heart. Didn't know, of course, that the borders will close for such a long time. I couldn't go back to China anymore. So, but at that time, they were closing the borders. Tickets were like 5,000-6,000 euros to go back. And I didn't know if I could go back to Netherlands while I was operating there in Europe, the business. So I made the decision to stay there, not knowing this would go on for a couple of years, of course. And unfortunately, the OneChat project didn't work out. I think the project itself, the plan was cool. I think it could have still worked, but I think it's a very ambitious and big, and was more difficult than we expected, especially the payment part, getting the licenses. Also from our end, the experience, myself, yeah, maybe it was not the right time to do such a big project. For me, not enough experience in like doing, like raising money, like doing such a big project. So unfortunately, it didn't work out. It was a hard moment because I moved back to Netherlands. I had to stay there with my parents' place. So going from my own apartment with my ex-girlfriend in China, having a comfortable life there, to back in Amsterdam, suburbs of Amsterdam, and then one chat project didn't work out. It was kind of tough. So I lost my life in China. I lost my ex-girlfriend. I mean, we just was not a lost her, but we decided mutually to break up. And yeah, the one chat project didn't work out. So I would say that was one of the toughest times I had, because I just felt like, I was here and it just dropped down. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So I learned a lot from that period. I learned a lot from the one chat project. I wouldn't say like financially it was like a huge success story. I mean, I made money, but yeah, I lost a lot of money in the one chat project. But yeah, it was just an amazing time. I spent almost 3 years there, 2.5 years, 3 years. Was one of the best times in my life. And I think it also formed me who I am today, because I went there when I was 21 years old. And yeah, not many people can say on that age that they moved to the other side of the world, to a country that's completely different. So that definitely formed me who I am today. And also laying the foundation for the business I'm operating now, because I learned all this stuff along the way, right? If I just went to university, just to school, I wouldn't have all these ups and downs and didn't try all these things. So I did study, but I'm just saying, like, going for like the long path, doing the masters, you learn stuff, but it's different than the actual things you learn in the field. So in 2022, I finally returned after 4 years back to China. It was very nostalgic. I just remembered all the places that I visited. It was different, definitely, but it still felt familiar. And then after that, I just keep coming back to China. I still love going back to China. I've done some deals even with Chinese people. So the country has a special place. I would love to have more Chinese clients. I would love to do more with the culture, with the China market itself. So I think, having this subject in a channel, it doesn't really align with the real estate part, but it's a part of my identity. And I think it's cool to show that and show people like, oh, what China really is. So you can expect more videos about China soon. But China will always have a special place in my heart. I will keep coming back. I hope one day I can show my kids where I used to live and teach them Chinese and show them the culture. So this is the end of this first China introduction video. It's also kind of opening my story. So let me know what you think. What do you think of this video? And if you're excited to see the new China content coming up. So I'm gonna go to Shanghai in 2 weeks. We're gonna have like a cool weekend over there. And then I'm gonna go to Mongolia and Kazakhstan. So that's like separate from this. That's just travel vlogs of those countries. And then I'm gonna cross the border from Kazakhstan into Xinjiang. Xinjiang is kind of sensitive region, as you know, so that will be cool to explore that part of China. I've never been there. And then I don't know how I'm gonna go back from Xinjiang to Shanghai, maybe go by train, stop in some other cities. So the plan is not super clear, but definitely gonna shoot some more content in Shanghai. So a lot of China things will come up, and I'm gonna have more China trips in the coming years. So again, this is not gonna be a China channel, but it's gonna be a China playlist with some trips and experiences I have in China. So if you like this kind of videos, please let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I hope some Chinese people are watching. It's a long monologue of me talking, so shout out to you if you made it to the end. I hope I see you maybe in China. 谢谢你，中国我爱你。See you soon. Thank you for watching and until next time.